news on the Law FM Morning Show. This is Law FM 103.9.
When you listen to this station, you learn about your rights. You discover the law in ways you never imagined. You know why? Because we broadcast in your interest.
It's a problem that we are all experiencing in the country. Different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. So who do we call on to? Who do we hold responsible?
We impart knowledge.
If the grid is unable to shed the load that it ought to, it could also result in the collapse of the national grid.
Call it what you may, but we are here to stay. The law was never biased, so why should it be now? To every individual, we are Law FM 103.9.
There are no regional electricity boards.
I will implore you, in addition to your course of study, whether you want to migrate, whether ASU is on strike, acquire one or two skills. Short skills that will always be relevant. Please, you never can know where you need such a skill. I am Engineer Olaomi Gaspar, and you're listening to Law FM 103.9.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is
Rotimi Martins, aka Lyro of Africa. You're listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
Presenting the Law FM Morning Show, giving you the best of news.
Still on the national scene, the independent
legal update, newspaper review, and talk.
The cost of living, talk of lights, talk of good road.
My personal opinion and perception is that we may have a battle between two arms of government.
So grab the late morning coffee on the Law FM Morning Show from 9 a.m. because the conversation will begin. Law FM 103.9, your station.
Hello guys, my name is Dele Momodu and you are listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
Your only law radio station.
Finest babe. How do you do it?
My skin gives me the extra confidence to light up the room. That's why I'm deliberate about how I nourish my skin. I use a soap made with the right natural ingredients.
A soap? Which one?
A soap that contains shea butter and aloe vera, turmeric and honey for a glowing skin.
Experience the new Joy Black Soap made with over 7 natural ingredients that moisturize, restore and repair your skin, giving you the confidence to be who you love to be. Joy, beauty my way.
Right here.
I'm Oluwadamlola Emmanuel, the General Manager, Lagos State Waterways Authority, and you're listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
The Law FM Morning Show on Law FM 103.9. Now time for the news stand. Let's bring you the cover pages. We'll begin with the New Telegraph newspaper this Wednesday, the 24th of May 2023. 10th National Assembly is the boldest headline, a story regarding that how Tinubu Kwankwanso's Paris meeting altered permutations. That boldly written here. You find details of this inside pages 2, 5 and 31. It comes with multiple riders. Searchlight now on Sani Musa Yorobere. Also, opposition can't take anything from us. That's according to source, as Yari's support base waxes stronger. Wase boycotts leadership meetings, but Biamila's plenary processions. All Progressives Congress will review zoning to give North Central presiding positions. That's according to Gaji. And you must engage through elections. Adamu tells Abbas Kalu. We've not endorsed any candidates. That's credited to greater majority, and that's what it looks like. The riders to this particular story on the leadership of the 10th National Assembly. We'll see how things go. Just above that and below the masthead, New Telegraph today, you find Buhari to Senate approve 16 billion naira refund to Borno, says Niger Republic. Others will defend him if Nigeria disturbs him. Alright, you find details when we get there in a moment. Effective January 2024, United Kingdom bars Nigerian students, others from traveling with family. You know that thing that they do where one person is going to study, then maybe two other persons are dependent. As dependent, you might not be able to do that, or there are conditions to that. Anyway, we'll bring you details in a moment. Don't use National Assembly leadership torso to divide Nigerians. Christian Association of Nigeria warns politicians. Biden sends delegation to attend Tinubu's inauguration. 35 Osun students collapse after police tear gas drill. Away from that, this one is top of the page. New Telegraph newspaper today. Central Bank of Nigeria revokes 179 microfinance banks, others licenses. Okay. It's a cover page story. Continues inside page 3 of the New Telegraph newspaper today. Nigeria's $400 million annual premium fraudulent. That's as regards war risk insurance. Let's get to the bottom of the page real quick. Presidential poll. Court consolidates Labour Party. APM PDP's petition against Tinubu. There are a few writers to this story, but we'll move from there to this one. How United Kingdom Special Forces, others operated in Nigeria, 18 others secretly. That's a revelation you can find inside New Telegraph today, page 27. Federal government inaugurates second Niger bridge. Federal Secretariat in Anambra were vindicated, says Ngige. Ngige, of course, is the Minister of Labour. Impeached Ogun Deputy Speaker blocks Assembly gate. Page 30 has details. New Telegraph. Incoming administration will face industrial crisis. This is credited to the Nigeria Labour Congress president. Alleged assault. Shehu Kuti released on bail. Page 7 for that. And one last one down here. Study BCG vaccine to reduce risk of Alzheimer's disease. Alright, that's what the New Telegraph newspaper looks like today.
Yes, and this is how the Nigerian Tribune looks like this morning. Presidential election petition court merges APM Atiku Obi's petition. That's on page 12. Fixes May 30 to commence hearing. You also have on page 13, Nigerian students, others can no longer take family to UK from January. That's on page 13. National Assembly presiding officers, horse trading may accommodate North Central. That's two riders to that endorsement. Not enough. Adamu cautions Abbas. Who is Adamu? Who is Abbas? Pick up the the Nigerian Tribune to get what that paper is serving this morning. You have bold headlines here on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Why I close down borders, ban rice importation. That's Buhari. That's on page 6 and page 11 of the Nigerian Tribune. You have several writers to that. Says only God can effectively guard Lake Chad to Benin border, which is 1,600 kilometers. Explains why he chose a woman as Minister of Finance and others. Yes, you have the Shehu Kuti story here on page 21. On page 29 rather, you have Kogi AGF against the AGF. Supreme Court cautions against continued harassment of Kogi officials, adjourns hearing to October 10th. You are prepared for pandemic worse than COVID-19. WHO warns. That's scary, Page 13 of the Tribune newspaper. Where and why is the WHO sounding this alarm. Pick up the Tribune newspaper to get more details. Ekiti Airport to be in operation in October. Some cheering news there for Ekiti indigenous, and in fact, people who will be using that airport. How I Want to Be Buried, Olubara of Ibara. That's on page 13 of the Tribune newspaper. You also have on page 4, 14.3 million Nigerian ages 15 and 64 engages in drug abuse. Who's saying that? The NDLE. And you have some pictures here. You have the Lagos State Governor's wife and the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. You have that's the Deputy Governor Hamzat, and some other dignitaries on the front page of the Tribune newspaper. You also have another one beneath that picture, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, as well as the President-elect and the former Prime Minister of Britain, Tony Blair. You also have the Vice President-elect on this picture. Sometimes I ask myself, there's been some rumors that the Speaker of the House of Representatives might be the right-hand man to the President-elect. So sometimes I wonder, is he already playing the role now, or he's playing the role of the Speaker of the House in this official, attire? So it's somehow fluid, but we'll get to know in the coming days whether or not the rumor becomes a reality.
Well, we'll see how that goes, like you said, but I do not see any link, between the role of the Speaker of the House of Representatives and what he's doing now with the President-elect. I mean, you tell me, is there any provision of the Constitution which permits that?
I mean, he obviously, within the purview of being the Speaker, international or foreign visitors, sometimes he could receive them on behalf of the government. But in this case, considering the rumor that he would likely become the chief of staff to the President-elect, so sometimes it's fluid to understand whether the role he plays, he's been very close to the President-elect, whether the role he plays with the in presence of or being found within the President-elect is playing the role as the chief of staff, which we have heard, or which we grapevine information.
Rumors. We won't dwell on that.
We won't dwell on rumors, but
we'll see
sometimes
how that goes.
Sometimes this information become reality. But like I said, let's keep our fingers crossed to see what appointment will be done in the coming days.
Alrighty, we'll run through some other headlines on this cover pages, skipping some stories, headlines which are recurring. Daily Independent is next. Buhari justifies rising debt profile, says it's tied to projects. Commissions 206.1 billion naira second Niger bridge for public use. Southeast governors name breached after President Buhari. Nigerian students are thus barred from taking family to United Kingdom in migration curb, and that of course a recurring story. But let's go to some other stories now. Tomato shortage looms as farmers lose 5.6 billion naira in 1 month. This writer says lament disease recurrence despite available solutions. And we'll leave things there on the cover page of the Daily Independent newspaper. Alright, so this daily newspaper also has some other recurring stories, and I will just go from there as CBN revokes operating licenses of 183 microfinance banks. Okay, so we'll leave things there and just move straight as we have a guest analyst standing by to talk to us this morning. Ayannuga Paul is our guest on the newsstand this Wednesday. Good morning to you, Benga.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, appreciate your being there. Let's begin with this interesting story about the president and the commissioning of projects yesterday. That, by the way, would be the focus on the discourse. So, but let's talk about the debt side, to this, as the president yesterday gave a robust defense of his administration's 77 trillion naira debt. According to him, the loans were largely used to fund capital projects for the people's benefit. He explained that his focus on infrastructure was a deliberate action to create wealth and stem poverty. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, the government is saying they are tied to projects.
Hello, Benga. Can you put your phone? Can you? We can't understand what you're saying. Can you put your phone or bring your phone closer to your mouth so that we can get better audio quality?
So I'm saying some of the projects
Beautiful.
we cannot see. Some of the projects we can see, but we must give kudos to the presidency for many of the projects that have been executed thus far. What the question Nigerians are asking is, when you say that these things are tied to projects, at what rate? Take, for example, the second Niger bridge that was commissioned yesterday. The price tag on it, if you compare it to the Hong Kong Macau bridge, that's the bridge that connected mainland China to Hong Kong through Macau. That bridge, in terms of length, if you want to compare it with Nigeria, you are talking about a bridge that the distance is like from here, from Lagos here to, let's say, Niger Republic. In terms of length, don't take my word for it, go and check it online. The length of Hong Kong mainland China Macau bridge is like from here to Niger Republic. Yet the amount that it cost them, if you compare it to the amount that some of our bridge costs us in Nigeria, then you will begin to ask questions that the material that we are using for the production of our bridge, are they imported from heaven?
Just a little bit of facts here. The Hong Kong Macau bridge you just mentioned, it's about 55 kilometers. That's about 34 miles. How would you determine Hong Kong Zhuhao Macau bridge?
To the mainland.
Okay, go on.
So per kilometer cost of the bridge, you will hear the amount. And I mean, okay, let's take an example quickly. Recently, 2016, 2017, the former governorship candidate of, I think he was governorship candidate of APC, but at that time he was governorship candidate of, of PDP. So he was governorship candidate of ADP that time. Gbadebo, the MN Estate, the MN Estate owner, Gbadamosi.
Yeah. Yes, you're
Gbadamosi.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, there was a right he did then that led to his arrest, where he was asking questions about how monies were changing hands through the stock exchange, through this Bureau de Change and the CBN in connivance, and also about the blue light rail in Lagos State. And he told us in his experience with them that when CRCC wanted to give their report in China annual year, the figure they quoted is different from the figure we quoted on our side here. So that is why people are asking questions about price, about if you see these things are tied to project. Yes, we are grateful that they are tied to projects. We are grateful that unlike others before you, some of these projects we can see them, you started them, you commissioned them, like others who would, just the money will go without traces. But in the time of these orders, for their 16 years, the total amount they were owing is like less than 1/4 or like 1/4 of what you are now leaving behind. And while these projects are tied, while these borrowings are tied to projects, how are we going to be able to pay back? Are we a productive economy like the US that makes a lot of money and so paying back their loan? CBN recently said, or is it one financial analyst that said that we'll be using 100% of our total income to service debt by next year. So if we are using 100% of our income to service debt, how are we going to do any other thing for the nation? These are the main questions Nigerians are asking. We know that, yes, in fairness to you, you have done a lot of capital projects that we can see, but then at what cost?
All right, so transparency as to the amount of money spent for what projects is your major concern.
Yes.
Alrighty, let's move away from that story to other stories reported on the cover pages this morning, and let's talk about this particular one. Although this was released yesterday by United Kingdom, and they're talking about restricting from effective January 2024. They're going to ban Nigerian students and others from traveling with their families when they want to migrate to the United Kingdom. And you know how these things work. One person gets admission, and then the husband does or the wife does, the partner becomes a dependent, and then they go on to migrate. But the UK is restricting that now. How do you think this would impact tourism in terms of education, and maybe do you think that would also maybe hinder certain persons to not want to apply to study in United Kingdom, or they would begin to look elsewhere?
The question we should ask is, why are these targeted towards Nigerians? This every year goes to countries with the immigrant country to beg their people to come to UK. It is because, unlike Nigerians, many of the people who are coming from some of these nations that even America wants to come over have skills that are ready to use. Other than Nigerian doctors and medical workers, many of the other are only generating education tourism money for the UK. And when they stay back with their family, it's putting a lot of strain on the economy of the UK. And you know that many of our people in diaspora send a lot of money back home. So they leave very little to go around back in the economy. Unlike if somebody comes from Sweden, Switzerland, they make their money in the UK, they spend all of their money on holidaying in the UK and around. So the money still recycles in the economy. Yeah. I believe that among many other reasons, that might be one of the reasons, and the effect on the country also is the fact that the amount that our diasporans from these places remit, it will be affected significantly.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sorry, Benga. Please just hold your thoughts for a bit. We'll be going on a short break. When we get back, we'll take some more of your thoughts and contributions as well.
Finest babe, how do you do it?
My skin gives me the extra confidence to light up the room. That's why I'm deliberate about how I nourish my skin. I use a soap made with the right natural ingredients.
A soap? Which one?
A soap that contains shea butter and aloe vera, turmeric and honey for a glowing skin.
Experience the new Joy Black Soap, made with over 7 natural ingredients that moisturize, restore and repair your skin, giving you the confidence to be who you love to be. Joy, beauty my way.
Hold on tight.
I'm Olufemi Pedro.
I'm Omoyele Showore.
My name is Honorable Akim Dixon.
This is Honorable Adekunle Akobada. I'm Dili Momodu, and you are listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment. The only law radio station.
39 minutes past 9. This is Law FM 103.9, the station for knowledge and entertainment. Time to get talking some more. Benga Ayannuga Paul is our guest today. He's on the line talking to us about major headlines in the news as reported by dailies across the country today. And we were just talking about this restriction which takes effect from January 2024, and that's next year. Was released by the United Kingdom government yesterday when they announced a package of measures which is essentially aimed at international students, including a ban on some family members as ministers in the country come under growing pressure to cut immigration, and that would indeed affect Nigerians who are looking to study in the United Kingdom. And that's what Olugbenga was talking to us about, and how you were talking about how this would also affect diasporans, and I think you mentioned just before that break the economic sides of this.
The amount of remittances, because you see, when they have their family with them over there, it was
Benga, you there?
They have their yes, I'm with you.
All right, great.
I'm with you. When they have their family with them over there, it's easy for them to concentrate and make more money and have more money to send back home. But when their family are back home here, the worries are multiplied, and this affects productivity. This are the amount they will be able to generate and send back home. That is why I am looking at it from the perspective of the remittances, because diaspora remittances helps a lot in managing our forex problem in Nigeria here, because if not for diaspora remittances, the cash crunch in terms of forex inflow into the country would have been felt more than the way it is being felt right now. So I think our government needs to do more in terms of our relation with these nations. Our diplomats there needs to be more proactive, more ahead of the game, thinking for Nigeria, not waiting for things to happen before they respond. And that's why we must give kudos to the president-elect. We saw that he had a meeting yesterday with the former Prime Minister of the UK, Tony Blair. This shows to you that these are the incoming administration is a forward-thinking administration that will be proactive enough to make sure that some of these laws that will affect our people residing outside the nations we are able to negotiate things that will favor our people residing outside the nation. But above all, we need to make our country work so that it will be like back in the 60s and 70s, where people will finish their education in the US, in the UK, and the US and UK will be begging them to stay back, but they will say, no, we are coming back home to Nigeria because Nigeria was better back in the days. And that is the only thing that can solve the problem. Why do you think that people in the Scandinavian country don't want to leave their country despite the fact that their weathers are harsh? Most of them don't see sunlight more than 6 months in a year. Most of them don't see the snow covers everywhere almost 6 to 8 months in a year. Yet they don't want to go to elsewhere in Europe because their economy is working, their country is working.
All right, thank you very much. So let's look at another newspaper, another news headline from another paper, which is the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune, page 15 of that paper, or 13, I beg your pardon, says, prepare for pandemic worse than COVID-19, WHO warns. Just a snippet from that particular news. The threat of another variant emerging that causes new surge of diseases and death remains, and the threat of another pathogen emerging with even deadlier potential remains. What's your view on that? Should it give us some level of concern?
it should give us a lot of level of concerns. If we've been listening carefully to statements made by many of these big pharmaceutical company owners, and we've been listening to speeches made by people like Bill Gates and their foundation, it will seem, without trying to further a conspiracy theory, but it will seem as though there is a concerted effort by the elite who run the world to reduce the world population. And also, don't forget that when there is pandemic, the big pharma make more money, and they will do anything to make more money. So, for us as a nation, what we need to do is to be ahead of their game by funding our universities so that we can also research and have ready-made solutions. Once they are bringing this problem and we are solution providers, they will be playing into our hands. So, take for example, during the COVID-19, the nose mask, I think a carton of nose mask, from what I heard, was selling, not as in the whole big carton that has several cartons inside, was selling for 7,000 before COVID-19. Then the price, immediately COVID-19 hit, shot up to 220,000 naira. So you see, what we need to do as a nation is to fund our universities, our research institutions to be ahead of the game, so that when the world leaders from the rest of the world are doing some of these things, and we know that their aim and target, if those theories were to be true, is to diminish the population, most especially of countries in Africa. So we should be worried, and that our worry should bolster us to prepare, to put the square peg in the square hole, and make sure that the whole world can be shut down. But because we are prepared ahead, we have the technology, we have the facility, and that will cost the government a lot of money. So rather than using money to do frivolous project, white elephant projects, these are areas that Nigerian government needs to push money into and prepare ahead, because it will happen. After that pandemic that they are talking about currently, another pandemic will still happen that will be bigger. But you see, India made a lot of money during COVID-19 because they were among the first set of nations to produce the vaccine. There's some other nations, made a lot of money from the outbreak of COVID-19. Why can't we, as a nation too, key in, be ahead of the game, and also make money such that it will be able to lift our people out of poverty using these disasters, because disasters cost money. More cost money.
All right, Benga. Let's touch on a few more stories so that we can wrap the newsstand segment and go to the discourse, which is the focus for the hot topic for this morning. Even though the president did commission a few projects, about 7 of them, called the legacy projects yesterday, majorly the second Niger bridge, which by the way has been named after President Muhammadu Buhari, which is somehow sparking controversies in some quarters. But let's talk about this real quick. The incoming administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we hear, will inaugurate the Lagos Badon Expressway, and that's according to the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola. He did drop the hint during an extraordinary effect meeting yesterday, saying the opening of the reconstructed dual carriage highway will now be done on the 30th of June. Even though he gave a reason for this, that this was shifted because Julius Berger couldn't deliver that project. Some persons have argued that this is an attempt to put the face and the name of the new administration or the president-elect on this project when it's going to be commissioned by June 30. What's your thought on that?
Government is a continuum. They were trying to rush the project so that this administration can commission it. But I pass through that road every day. And if you I think you live around that area, around that road too. You know how much we suffer every morning to get to work. I mean, last Monday, thank God for my bosses at work who were very humane to tell me to turn back. I was in the traffic from 6 a.m. I did not get to Beggar Bridge end of it until 1:30 p.m. 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. because they were rushing the project, and so they blocked multiple parts of the road. And I still witnessed it this morning. And you see, if you look at the quality of this last phase of the project that they were rushing, there is a lot of concern, because I will be surprised after 1 year that they will have to scrap it again and start to work all over on it again, because when looking at it, not even from engineering perspective, from the labor perspective, you will see that the ones they did before seems to have that element of strength that this one lacks. So there is nothing wrong with having new administration coming to commission, because government is a continuum. There is nothing wrong in that. There is nothing special in that. The new administration too already has projects that they are going to do that are lined up, and that hopefully they are going to keep the ground running. So the nothing special, and they are going to leave projects for the incoming administration to commission. Don't forget that this administration that is about to end inherited a lot of almost finished projects from the Jonathan administration, even though they started lying that they were the one that did it, like the Abuja Kaduna Railway. The Jonathan administration had almost finished it up. But they came and commission, and that is what government is about. It's about continuity.
All right. We've got to go. In just a moment, we'll be going for a short break. But before we do so, and I'll put this to you real quick. This is reported, by the way, by the Punch newspaper today, and this is as regards the Dangote refinery. Well, it's not where you think it is. But let me just share with you, quickly the details of this. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun yesterday absolved himself of blame in the situation that led to the relocation of the $19 billion Dangote refinery from Ogun State to Lagos. Abiodun confirmed that he was chairman Olokola Free Trade Zone in Ogun Waterside local government area of the state during the administration of former Governor Ibikuna Mosun. Said it was not part of the moves that frustrated Dangote out of the state. The governor, in a statement issued by his chief press secretary Kunle Shomori yesterday, said he should not be blamed for the loss. So apparently some persons in the south region also, I think it was Reno yesterday, who tweeted that this other southern part of the country should learn from what's happened in the southwest. Well, the Ogun State governor is saying, I'm not to blame that Dangote left Ogun State, relocated to Lagos to do this.
The whole of the blame for Dangote leaving Ogun State lies on the head of the former governor Ibikuna Mosun. Even if Dapo, being the chairman of the local British zone at that time, had a hand in the frustration, the buck stops at the table of the governor. It shows to you that at that time we didn't have forward-thinking governors in Ogun State who would have seen the benefit to the people and put it ahead of the benefit to themselves as a person. And that was why, and it wasn't just Ogun State government, because the local African zone shares a border between Ogun and Ondo State. If they had collaborated, that it means, and you must give kudos to the Lagos State government, and that is why, I hate when everybody want to run down the Lagos State government. The kind of thinking that goes on in governance in the Lagos State government shows to you that there are brilliant people everywhere. If you doubt it, go and listen to previous records of their Liberty summits that they do every year. How many states that can boast of having such robust conversation preparing for the future about everything? How many states in Nigeria can boast of it?
Alrighty, so we need to go on a short break right now. You can be part of the conversation. We see you on Facebook. The youngest Frayo says good morning to you too. Jude Ingina also says good work, please keep it up. Thank you so much for that, Jude, appreciate it. You can join the conversation and let's know what you think of the stories we've taken so far in the news. Benga, Ayannuga Olugbenga, thank you so much for being on the newsstand today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate that. Okay, 0703-2277-338 and 0909-555-1039 is the number to call to join the conversation. In a moment or two, we'll go for that short break. When we get back from the break, we'll head straight to the discourse where guest for the discourse is standing by as well to talk to you about the construction of the second Niger Bridge. Well, more elaborately, we'll be assessing Mr. President Buhari's achievement in infrastructure on that segment. So you want to stay tuned to the station for knowledge and entertainment to be part of the conversation. Well, go straight to facebook.com/LFM1039 to join the conversation as well. That short break is right now. We'll be back in a moment. Do stay tuned.
Where we take your business from where it is to where it should be.
You are listening to Law FM 103.9. Don't touch that dial.
Finest babe. How do you do it?
My skin gives me the extra confidence to light up the room. That's why I'm deliberate about how I nourish my skin. I use a soap made with the right natural ingredients.
A soap? Which one?
A soap that contains shea butter and aloe vera, turmeric and honey for a glowing skin.
Experience the new Joy Black Soap made with over 7 natural ingredients that moisturize, restore and repair your skin, giving you the confidence to be who you love to be. Joy, beauty my way.
When you listen to this station, you learn about your rights. You discover the law in ways you never imagined. You know why? Because we broadcast in your interest.
It's a problem that we are all experiencing in the country. Different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. So who do we call on to? Who do we hold responsible?
We impact knowledge.
If the grid is unable to shed the load that it ought to, it could also result in the collapse of the national grid.
Call it what you may, but we are here to stay. The law was never biased, so why should it be now? To every individual, we are Law FM 103.9.
There are no internal electricity boards.
This is Law FM 103.9.
There's only one station. One that captivates you with the law. Law FM 103.9.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Raquel H, aka Your Money's Mine, aka My Money's Mine. What up? You're listening to Law FM 103.9, your station for knowledge and entertainment.
And everything is super dope.